This video is brought to you by Alienware, featuring Intel Core i7 processors. Start gaming.
Yo, what's up guys, Jack here, and today I've got some impressions and gameplay of Far Cry Primal. I actually went down to an event in London last week and they let me play the game for 3 hours on PS4 and capture everything, and that's exactly what you're seeing now. So obviously Far Cry, the last game was Far Cry 4. I did do a walkthrough of that, really enjoyed the game as I did with Far Cry 3, but as you can see, this one is just a little bit different. It's 12,000 years ago, so it's set after the Ice Age, when there's all sorts of weird beasts and mankind are kind of figuring out what the hell's going on, and primitive technology is starting to come about. And in this game you play as a dude called Takkar, or Taka, don't really know how you say it to be honest, but you play as Takkar, and he's a Beastmaster and he's part of this tribe. And the Beastmaster thing means that he can tame beasts. So all the animals that you see in the game, or most of them, not all of them, you can actually tame them and have them as pets that you can then send to attack things. So you can get like saber-tooth, you can get honey badgers, bears, tigers, leopards, all sorts of stuff, and you can like tell them to go somewhere, tell them to stay, tell them to attack a target, and you got to keep them like fed with health and stuff like that. So there is a bit of micromanagement going on there. Now obviously in this game there isn't like guns and RPGs and C4 and stuff, and that does kind of worry me a little bit, because I think one of the most exciting and fun elements of Far Cry is just messing around with, you know, like blowing up rhinos or just throwing C4 onto people and watching them go sky high, RPGing helicopters out of the sky, just messing around and coming up with inventive ways of killing your enemies. And in this game, your weapons, you have a few choices, but of course it's very primitive technology, so you're limited to stuff like clubs and bow and arrows, rocks, although you do get bee bombs, which is kind of weird, where you just throw a bundle of bees at someone and it's like, the bees, Nicolas Cage, nah, not the bees. And also poison bombs. So there are, oh, my phone's going off. There are a few different options here, but I am kind of worried that you're just going to end up sticking with the bow and arrow and just setting people on fire, and I don't know if that's going to take some of the fun away. But at the same time, you can of course use your sidekick. You've got 16 different types. You can upgrade the animals, you can upgrade yourself. Of course, being a Far Cry game, you've got all these different skills that you can choose to level up, the way your character progresses, that sort of thing. There's also kind of like a base building element in it, where you have a village and you can go speak to different people, and depending on who you talk to, you can do missions for them. And if you complete the missions, whether that's like hunting for animals or gathering specific types of weird looking flowers or plants, you come back, then their particular part of the village will actually then be upgraded, and that's going to bring like more villagers and stuff like that in, and the village is going to become bigger and better. I think that's how it works. I didn't really get into that much because I was kind of trying to play as much as I could and just experience the variety in the game. There's also beast riding. Now, although I didn't get to try this myself, apparently you can ride the beasts, not in that way, like ride them into battle sort of thing, like on top of them, throw spears at people. It's kind of like Ark Survival Evolved, I suppose. So yeah, it is a very different take on Far Cry, but you kind of begin to see the similarities once you play it for a while. Like, instead of the binoculars which you'd use to like scope out a compound, you now have an owl, and you can, it's like a UAV kind of, but it's an owl that you can control, and you spot enemies with the owl. And later on in the game you get to upgrade it so you can like dive bomb people and like take them out. That's not an owl noise, is it? Like, owls are more like ooh, ooh. They don't go caca. Well, I don't even know what sort of bird that is that would make that noise. In fact, maybe like a mental crow or something. I don't know. But the owls are like UAVs, and you fly them around, and you can drop bombs as well with them, but they are on a cooldown, so you can't just use the owl forever and just take everyone out with the owl. So instead of like binoculars, you've got an owl. Instead of an elephant, it's a mammoth. So you do see some sort of similarities here The game itself looks gorgeous though, I have to admit. It's a very nice looking game, and apparently there are some kind of snowy areas as well that you progress to later on in the game as you try and take out the enemy tribes. There's this really ugly guy called Oros, I think. Probably the ugliest looking video game character I've ever seen. He doesn't have a nose. And that's pretty ugly, but you know, it's Far Cry. There's hunting, crafting, upgrading everything, like your skills, your weapons. I imagine there's going to be quite a lot of content here, and if you're into kind of like primal stuff, then you're probably going to enjoy this game. But it is a lot of more of the same in its design, but in a different setting. So if you like Far Cry, you'll probably like this game. Of course, I can't give like a final verdict on the game because I only played for 3 hours and I only saw like a certain chunk of it, but it's coming out in February. If you're interested in picking it up, it should be out pretty soon, in fact. So not actually that long after the last Far Cry game came out. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably wait for the reviews of the game and then maybe do like a walkthrough of it on Twitch or YouTube, something like that. Just really see how much content is in the game and how long it's actually going to last. Right then, as you probably saw in the title of this video, I do have an Alienware Steam machine to give away. I did a video on this a couple months back if you want to go and check that out. Now, Alienware have kindly sponsored this and given me one of the units to give away, so that's kind of awesome. If you want to enter the competition, all you got to do is go to bit.ly/JackFragsAlienware. Link is in the description if you're too lazy to type that out, and that'll take you to a page where there's various different ways of entering, like watching this video, following me on Twitter, following me on Twitch, etc. And the more times you do stuff, the more entries you get. It's kind of like a raffle. So good luck, and may the best man or woman win. And I'll probably run that competition for about 7 days or so and then announce a winner. So that's pretty awesome. As always, thank you for watching, guys. Let me know what you think of Far Cry Primal down in the comments below. Do you like the look of this, or will you give it a miss? Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll see you in the next one.